Hey guys, I'm recording on my phone this time. Before we did it on a camera, but Brandon somehow managed to break it. um, so I'm just gonna make a quick video. Well, hopefully it's quick. And I just wanted to talk about the mood swings I've had during this pregnancy. Um, it's also kind of be like it's also gonna kind of be like a story time, because at the end I have three little stories to tell about my mood swings. In the first trimester, um, I hated Brandon. I hated him so much. I didn't want to be near him. I didn't want him to touch me. I didn't want anything to do with him. Just him walking in the room would annoy me so much. It went to the point where on the bed, I made a border with pillows to make sure that we were separated when we slept. And, yeah. Which I don't think is that dramatic because with him, when he sleeps, he doesn't know what he does, but he tosses and turns. He'll lay on me, he will hit me, he will kick me. It's not every night. It's random, but I think that was kind of one of the reasons why I didn't want him touching me at night. And with the border, it did help, and I actually got more room on the bed than I usually got without the border. So yeah, there was that, and then he would get me so mad with like the littlest things he did that I'd be on the verge of crying, but I wouldn't. But then he would do something so dumb that it would make me laugh, but then I would start crying, and then he would freak out and wouldn't know what to do, of whether to laugh with me or to console me. But even if he tried to console me or touch me, I'm like, no, get away, I don't want you. It was really bad. I feel bad because I know I was really awful to him in the first trimester. But in the second trimester, it did kind of go away. I acted more normal with him. I mean, if you ask him, he'll probably still say that I hate him, which I probably do, but whatever. But in the second trimester, I hated everyone else. Everyone else but Brandon. Everyone would get on my nerves. I didn't want to be around people. I didn't want to talk to people. And it was pretty bad. That just lasted for a couple weeks though. After that, only certain people got on my nerves. And just their presence would get me upset. And them talking would annoy me so much. And it was just certain people. I don't know how I decided on which people annoyed me, but it was just certain ones. Yeah, and now in the third trimester, it's still just certain people, but what got bad is I love kids. I love children. I always have. I actually even want to be a kindergarten teacher. And then I'm expecting a baby. And I was excited for that. I still am. But for some reason, now certain kids get on my nerves. Kids that I love and like family and stuff, but they get on my nerves so easily. And I think it's just because I am towards the end of my pregnancy and they want to like play and everything, but I can't and I'm tired. So that's about it. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is the three little stories. So the first story, it was in the second trimester. There was this Amazon commercial that had a baby and a dog, and the baby didn't was scared of the dog, but the dog wanted to be with the baby. And oh my god, it would make me cry every time I watched it. Brandon would laugh at me. I still cry or get at least a little teary-eyed if I watch it now. But before, I would be bawling bad. It was awful. But that was it. The second story was also in the second trimester. I love cantaloupe melon so much. It is or was my favorite fruit at all. I would eat a whole cantaloupe by myself because it was that good. But as I grew up, about a year or two ago, probably longer, I am now allergic to it. And before, it wasn't that bad. Sorry. It would just kind of dry out my mouth, so I would be able to eat it. But during the pregnancy, it got really bad where it would dry out my mouth, my throat would start swelling, I would get itchy. It was bad. So we were grocery shopping once, and I saw a melon, and I wanted it so bad, where I started to kind of get upset about it, and Brandon started laughing at me about it, and kind of making fun of me about it, to the point where I started to cry, because I wanted it so much. I feel dumb even just saying how I reacted, but I really wanted it. But that night, I didn't talk to Brandon. I was so mad at him because he was laughing at me and because I couldn't have cantaloupe and he can. I really want it. And the third story is a little bit longer. It's about a bird. So, Brandon still thinks I'm crazy for this, but we were eating at McDonald's. When we were leaving, Brandon went to go refill his drink, and I went outside, and there was just a bird hanging out. And so I was just kind of jokingly talking to it and whatever. So when Brandon came out, I told him, oh, look, I made a friend. And he was like, oh, yeah, and he tried to make friends too. But the bird hopped away from him. It even hid behind me. And I thought it was the strangest thing that he didn't fly away. But I thought maybe he thought, he would get food or something. So I didn't think much of it. We went to go look at the red box that was behind me, and the bird hopped into the street when we went that way. So after that, a girl ran out and almost stepped on the bird, and the bird didn't fly away. And so that's when I realized, I think this bird is hurt, it can't fly. And so I started to freak out a bit. And it got under a car, so since I was freaking out, Brandon went to get it out from under the car, because I thought maybe the owner of the car won't know the bird's under it and might run it over, and I didn't want that. So he got it out from under the car, but it was still in the street, so I was freaking out about that. And so Brandon, still looking at me like I was crazy, but tried to get it back on the sidewalk. But instead it went under this big truck, and the family of that truck were already kind of laughing at us about the situation because they already saw half of what was going on. But they saw me freaking out about it, so they slowly backed out to make sure they didn't hit the bird. And they didn't. So once they left, Brandon went and managed to get the bird on the sidewalk. But even then, I was still freaking out because I thought, oh my gosh, this bird is going to go back into the street and it's going to get run over. It's going to die. Oh my gosh. I was really freaking out. And I think Brandon was kind of just joking about it. Because I was saying, like, I just wish it was in a park or something where it would be safe. And so he kind of said something like, you want me to put it in the car? And we'll take it to a park? And I was like, we can do that? And he was like, really, Alyssa? And I was like, come on, let's do it. So he went to our car, he got his jacket, came back, managed to get the bird wrapped up in the jacket. We didn't touch it. Got it in the car. But while we were in the car starting to drive, it managed to get out and fly into the back seat. So we started freaking out. Like, what if this bird freaks out? And what if we get into a car crash? Like, it was crazy. But luckily the bird stayed calm. It kind of chirped a little bit at the beginning, I guess, since it was scared. But it was just sitting on the back seat, staring out the window. And it stayed pretty content until we got to the park. And we tried to get it, but it was kind of difficult getting it out of the car. It even went under the driver's seat. And so that was hard, but finally we did get it out. Got it on a tree. We both took pictures and posted it on Instagram, kind of what happened. It was a dumb story, but at the end we were both laughing about it. Brandon made friends with the bird, named him Charles. But yeah, so that was my 3 very strange stories. I think the last one was kind of because my motherly instincts kind of went into play, and that's why I was freaking out so much for the bird. But other than that, the other times that I've broken down crying or freaked out, those reasons actually kind of made sense. I may have over-exaggerated them a little, but it was something to actually kind of be upset about. So, but these ones were just kind of the funny ones, and I just wanted to share with you guys that during this pregnancy, I've had a lot of strange things happen. But yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.